Hi everyone. I was just having a quick reorientation with the Academy. This is a gorgeous place. I needed to sort of brush up on some of the things that I want to show you today and make sure everything's all in place. So, good morning, Justin, Mary, Cynthia. Hi Lorraine. Hi Catherine. Hi Maria. I know we're getting some traffic noise at the moment. We're going to move inside very soon. Hi Andrea. Hi Tara. Hi Lorena and hi Haywood. Let's turn this camera around just briefly before we begin, and I'll show you where we're starting from. And this is the Woodford Academy. How's Canberra, Lorraine? Are you a bit chilly down there this morning? So we're starting out the front of the Woodford Academy, and I will go through some of the history of it as we move through the place, in conjunction with seeing some of the wonderful steampunk costumers, people dressed in all their finery this morning. This is the stunning gum tree that's out the front of the Woodford Academy, and it's lit up at night because it's so beautiful. And if I move over here, get a gap in the traffic noise. Hi Connie, hi Katie, and hi Rebecca. So this building started out as an inn, and it was just that part there that was an inn back in 1834. It was very heavily government controlled. It was at the 20-mile point, the second 20-mile point after leaving Sydney. So you go to Sydney, stop it overnight at Emu Plains. Yes, it's right on the highway here, Lorraine. This is the Great Western Highway. Heading west. That way's heading west up the hill. And if I turn around this way, hi Lisa, hi Chelsea, hi Colleen. Turn around this way. That's heading south and down the hill. Alrighty, so we've just ticked over 10:45 Australia time. Let me move away from the noise a little bit, if I can. So, good morning everybody. My name's Lynn. And this morning we're going to have a little bit of a brief look around the Woodford Academy. And on this occasion, it opens once a month. It's a National Trust property that opens once a month. And today is a steampunk event. So we're going to see several people dressed up. At the moment, there's some over there at the cafe having their morning tea. And there's some just amazing costumes that we'll see. But before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that we meet today on the traditional lands of the Darug and Gundungurra people and pay respects to their elders past, present and emerging. All right, so let's slowly, I don't want to get right in people's faces, but we'll just sort of enjoy the promenade. And over here we have several people dressed in all their finery sitting out front having their morning tea. So being a National Trust property, there is an entrance fee, and included in the entrance fee is the opportunity for a guided tour. Thanks, Cindy. So I don't want to get lots of children in shot. So we're going to move inside. And inside the first hall here, there's a stall selling handmade hats. And Christine, who is a local of the area, has featured all her beautiful steampunk hats here today. Christine has done hat making for theatre productions, and if you remember Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge and the hat she wore, that was made by Christine. who lives here locally. Hello, Christine. Do you want to be featured? Here's the artist here right now. This is Christine. Oh, and we've got the light in the background making it really tricky. So, and we were looking at your beautiful hats that you made for Katy Perry and her dances as well. Yeah. All right, we're going to keep moving. I'm doing a live stream. I'll catch up with you later. Oh my gosh. And look at this wonderful contraption. I just love this. This is just gorgeous. Good morning, Tricia. A checkered teapot hat. We'll go back in and have a look at the hats in a little while. Sorry. Christine totally threw me jumping in right there. I love this contraption. So does anyone not know what steampunk is? What the definition of steampunk is? Today is billed as a promenade to welcome steampunk cosplay and Victoriana costumes. It's kind of based around that steam-powered era of the 19th century, and their heroes would have been Jules Verne and H.G. Wells as authors. So it's that combination of Victoriana type costumery with the steam-powered technology. So steampunk as a style, I guess, kind of exaggerates all of those aspects. So you'll see lots and lots of things like gears and clockwork and these fabulous, look at these horns on the penny farthing. Now, one thing that this building is recently famous for is the recent discovery of a Dutch master's painting. What I'm going to do is take you inside and show you the replica of that painting. It took a fair bit of money, a lot of fundraising to allow for the restoration of the painting. It was actually discovered here about 30 years ago. And we're just going to walk inside here. So the building we looked at from out the front, which was the original inn, is actually here. And what we're looking at is the bar, basically. So it was the tap room. And when travellers made their way up the Great Western Highway, they first would have entered the building from this door behind me, and through that door in front would have been the entryway out through to the kitchen and accommodation. But over here above the fireplace, in what was the first extension of the building, this is a replica of a 400-year-old Dutch master's painting that was discovered on the site, probably bought by a wealthy family who bought the inn in the early 20th century. So the painting itself, the original, is a property of the National Trust, and it gets loaned out to various exhibitions. But the painter was Gerrit Willems Hedder, and it was painted in around about 1640. So the original painting, of which this is the replica, is worth about $5 million to the property. And look at this wonderful mirror above the fireplace. That's me. So what I want to do is just sort of move out to the courtyard and we'll sort of mingle with the people that are here about. We're expecting more people to turn up. Things being discovered as we go. And so we've got plants for sale, books for sale, postcards. The property has to generate its own income to remain viable and to allow for maintenance and restoration work. Look at this fabulous fellow over here with his hat. His hat's amazing. We've got this gorgeous suitcase. I'm sure this fellow won't mind me looking at his hat. How fabulous. Love that umbrella. It's just gorgeous. So over here, there we've got hoops and quoits people can play with. It's a beautiful umbrella, isn't it, Katie? And I love this umbrella on top of the penny farthing. So Woodford is around about. Whoops! What did I kick? I kicked a grate. Kicked a grate on the ground. Woodford is around about 70 kilometres from the centre of Sydney. 75 kilometres. We're at an elevation here of just under 700 metres. And I'm just moving back so you can see the academy buildings in their entirety. I think I missed a couple of comments. I'm just going to scoot back and have a look at some of them. And then over here to the right, we have would have been a beautiful Victorian garden. Well, what they're doing here at the moment is really just opening up once a month as a National Trust site. And that's when the events are held. But in 2 weeks' time, they're having a most Wuthering Heights Day ever. And a whole bunch of people are going to be here, dressed in red, dancing to Wuthering Heights. So we'll be here. And then, no, there's no one in residence here. They have art events. So it might be an exhibition or a workshop, that sort of thing. Those are the sorts of events that get held here. I kind of expected that it might pan out this way. I did not know what to expect. And I've always run out of stuff to do. So I think I'm going to walk back through some of the rooms and show you some of the desks that children would have sat at, where they were encouraged to carve their names in back in the early 19th century. If we go through this gate firstly, I do know that down the back there's some Aboriginal artefacts. This area was part of the song lines of the area went through this area. So what that basically means is that markers were made in various locations through areas where Indigenous peoples travelled. And they might have indicated where there was water or where there was a good campsite nearby and that sort of thing. Here on the pavement, oh, thank you, Lorraine. And hi, Christine. Stick around. I'm going to go back and look at some hats in a little while. So we've got, names in the concrete here. And that was part of the ethos of the schoolmaster, while it was an academy, was to encourage students to leave their mark. And that meant leaving their mark on the world, but it started with leaving their mark in this place here. I'm not going to go through there. Look at that. That's all swampy. So we'll head back up to the academy. We might just sit and do some people watching for a little while. Well, thank you, Justin. I do appreciate it. So be sure to join me in 2 weeks from today, and we're going to do some dancing to Wuthering Heights. Hi. Someone's having a barbecue. I can smell onions. Hi, Miss Manhattan, and hi, Julie. Hear the cockatoo? Yes, Deborah. It's called the most Wuthering Heights Day ever. And over a 2-hour period, there's going to be a lot of people here dressed in red dresses. Look it up on YouTube. I promise you, it brought tears to my eyes, and it wasn't all just from laughing. It's seriously joyful. I guarantee you it is going to be a very fun day. The most Wuthering Heights Day ever. And did you see on the news yesterday that a woman held, now I'm trying to remember where it was, a woman held an event called a pub choir, and the song that they chose to use on this occasion, I think it might have been in Melbourne, the song they chose to use for this occasion was Running Up That Hill. And they asked Kate Bush's publicists if they could use the song, which they always do every time they run a pub choir event. And eventually they got the permission, they recorded it, and Kate Bush actually sent them an email telling them how wonderful she thought it was, and congratulated them, which I thought was a lovely story. Wuthering Heights, the book, is a sad book, but Kate Bush's Wuthering Heights is just an expression of, what would you say? It's enthusiasm. It's art. It's movement. It's for some reason it's just been embraced. These things are being held all over the world, and I think they're quite hilarious. Is that the video, Andrea, of one of the events? Yeah, they've been doing it for about, I think they've done it for about 6 years, and it started by a theatre group in the UK. Tell me what you think of it. Have you got the Blue Mountains one up, or is it from somewhere else? Because there's a whole bunch of them. Atlanta. Oh, there you go. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Judy. And hi, Sandra. All right, I'm going to go back in and have a look at some of the rooms that we missed. We're hoping that more people dressed in steampunk are going to arrive over the time that I'll be streaming. But in the meantime, let's go inside and have a look at some more of these rooms of the old Woodford Academy. So here you can see the original sandstone flooring, heavily worn at the entrance there. And this was the kitchen. So we've got an old food safe, the old washing. It is wonderful. And the most recent owner, here we can see some of the National Trust peel away layers in certain areas so they can see what was underneath. It's a big old fireplace over here. Don't worry, anyone who's joined, we will see more steampunk, but we have to see this while we're here as well. Hi, Alison. So here's looking out through the doorway. We'll zoom in on this fellow's hat again because it's just fantastic. I love his hat. Look at that. I'm not sure what's in this room here, but we'll go and have a look. Isn't it? It is totally magnificent. I'm guessing this might have been food storage in this area. There's a little window. And Christine, we're going to go out there and look at all those hats in a minute. And the hat maker's name is also Christine. So this looks like it must have been a bathroom.
When I first came here, this hallway was just all rubble. And there was no floors, nothing. So come on through
So
and
let's go back this way.
In the time we're talking about this.
So I'm trying to avoid getting people right, getting right in their way. This goes upstairs to more accommodation. And this was the laundry. So it was explained to me that when the wealthy family took over the building, the Fairfax family, the doorway here was... Sorry, this window was turned into a doorway. Just have a look down here, you might be able to see. So this window was turned in the doorway because he didn't want the maids coming through the main part of the house. So they would go straight from here out to the courtyard. And I missed Cynthia's question. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for answering that. So over here what they've done is they've painted on the wall where the staircase was converted so that the maids could go through this doorway behind me that I just showed you and up the stairs without going through the main part of where the family would have been. So while I'm in this room, anyone who missed it earlier, this is a replica of the old Dutch master painting that was found in the property when they were cleaning out the property after the last owner passed away. So this is the replica. The original is owned by the National Trust, who owns the Woodford Academy. And the artist is Gerrit Willems Hedder, and it was painted in around about 1640. So it's wonderful that they've been able to provide a replica to sit in this place, in this room. So the last owner of the property was a woman by the name of Gertrude McManamy, and she bequeathed the property to the National Trust on the proviso that she was allowed to live here, or that she could live here, remain living here until she died. And in fact, she did so until she was moved in her final years to respite care. This is an original painting. So there were around about 6 paintings that were identified as worth investigating after Mrs. McManamy's, she was unmarried, Miss McManamy's passing. And this is another one of them, but this is an original. So apparently when the wealthy families did their grand tour, they didn't buy postcards, they bought paintings. And if we look over here behind me, there is another. This one's of Venice. And in this part of the property, when it was owned and operating as an inn, the family, the Bus family who owned it, and that would have been in the late 1800s, family of 6 lived in this little space here that I'm showing you now. So there's the living room, there's a small bedroom over here, and then there's this third room here. 6 kids. Let me just get past this group.
6 of them would have had visitors for them. Some people think that it's there would have been just a withdrawal space. Other people think they would have rebuilt them. It's not very.
There's a tour happening. So when it was the Woodford Academy, this was the school, and the senior boys used this room. Look at that lovely clock. Hi Suzanne, hi Walter, hi Elizabeth. It's beautiful, isn't it? Seems to be inlaid with, looks like mother of pearl. Gorgeous clock. Now over on this wall here we have a portrait, a photograph in fact, of Mrs. McManamy, who is the mother of the woman who was the final owner-occupier of the property. She was Swedish, and down beneath her photo in this display case was found actually in the stables a case full of love letters between her and her husband-to-be. So this is just all letters between them. In the next room we have the schoolroom where the younger students... Oh, there's someone wanting to take photos in there. Let me just wait a moment before I go in there. I'm not sure what this room is. It looks like it has school paraphernalia in the cupboard. And there's a video of some sort playing over there. It says boys collecting wildflowers in the bush, and that was the school uniform. It was modelled on Eton when it was a school, and hence the uniform. There are ghost stories. They actually do run ghost tours. Oh, I'm talking. I'm doing a live stream.
No, I'm listening to you just about the ghost story.
I don't know a lot about the ghosts. I just know that there are some, and they run ghost tours here occasionally.
You wouldn't want to come at night and read it.
Well, I think it'd be a bit creepy, wouldn't it? Yes, Annie, I don't know a lot about the ghosts. And in fact, when I asked if I could live stream from the property, I was asked not to make too much of a big deal about the ghosts as well. They don't want the property to be sensationalised just for that reason. But apparently there are ghost tours that run here. So these are two of the old desks. And I think I mentioned earlier that the students were actually encouraged to leave their mark, which they have done. I know what would have happened to us at school if we tried to carve our names on the table. And we have an honour roll up here as well. And this room really just displays more of the artefacts that were found in amongst the collection on site when the property was cleaned out. So we've got some old books. There's a doll in there. All right, let's go back outside to the courtyard, through past the hats, because I know Christine would be wanting to see some of these hats. So Christine's Millinery, the hat maker that's here today, has done some very famous hat work, including the dancers for a Katy Perry film clip. Christine actually created those hats for her. So I want to show you this suitcase. Look at this, the suitcase with a clock in it. Hi, Susan. Hi, Jan. And this looks like some sort of farm machinery. Steampunk appears to be all about clocks, gears, and that type of 19th century technology. Let's go back and have a look at some hats. I'm not sure that this bike is necessarily steampunk. It's definitely unusual. Do you mind if we look at your hats? So I've just asked Christine for permission to show you all her beautiful hats. Look at this. Aren't they fabulous? Christine, do you have your contact details on your banner?
I do.
It's just the name. There we go. Christine's Millinery. I'm being asked how much this one is with the... Yeah, that one.
That one is $235.
$235, Annie?
Medium.
That one's a medium. Look, I want to show you... There's Christine's web details. Is that clear? Can I focus on that?
Christine'sMillinery.com.
Yeah, Christine'sMillinery.com.
I haven't got these listed on my website, but I should. But
I saw them on your Facebook page.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
There we go. And I'm being asked what steampunk is. You must have joined us late, Susan. It's a kind of a meshing of 19th century technology and costumery, and basically an exaggeration of it. Is that fair to say? I think that's fair to say. So it's all about the gears and the clocks and the steam and the flounces and the frills and the leather. They are gorgeous. Look at this one here. Oh, wow, look at that. I love this blue one. Okay, someone must have looked it up. A genre of science fiction that has a historical setting and typically features steam-powered machinery. Yes, you'd have to say the heroes are H.G. Wells and Jules Verne, the inspiration. But apparently the term was coined by an author in the 1980s by the name of, let me see if I get this right. I can't, no, sorry, his name escapes me. I thought I had it, but I lost it. All these hats would go well at Melbourne Cup Day, I reckon. So So look up Christine's Millinery on Facebook or her website. There's the web address there.
Oh, I'm very pleased to hear that. Thank you.
I love this. Wow, I don't know anything about this painting, but I love it. And look at these windows.
Everything in here is heritage. Even the 1960s books.
And on the other side, we have some people selling earrings and things. Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm just wondering what your stuff's all about.
Well, my name's Kelly, and we call ourselves the Dark Side of the Blue. We illustrate and write our own comic books and board games based on all the monsters, myths, and legends in the Blue Mountains.
Oh, cool. That sounds amazing.
We've got comic books here,
Yep.
both of which
Look at
feature
that.
the Woodford Academy, as well as other places about the Blue Mountains. And yeah, we write and illustrate them ourselves. They're printed locally as well. And
That's
last
fabulous.
year, we did the first ever Blue Mountains board game. So the aim of the board game is to travel from Glenbrook out to Hartley and avoid as many panthers, drop bears, yowies, the woman in white at Woodford Academy, the woman in black at Mount Victoria.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're on Instagram, I guess.
Yes. All of our details are right here.
I'm going to pop that in front of the screen.
Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, eBay, and it's all local and free local delivery as well.
There we go. So if anyone's interested, that's the contact details for Carl and Kel.
Yeah, at the Dark Side of the Blue.
Alrighty. Let's just see if there's any more fabulous people dressed in their finery have turned up as yet. Oh, this is the one I was telling you about. Okay, so this is going to be in 2 weeks' time.
I'm so busy, it's ridiculous.
Wow, look at this coat. It's beautiful.
Just take a photo in front of that spike.
Love her coat. Looks amazing. Oh, haven't they? So the dedication to their dressing up, I'm impressed. I think it's fabulous. I'm going to get right over here, see if I can get them all in frame. I thought there'd be more people, to be honest, but the sun's affecting that shot. I might move to a different position. And now the wind's come up. Go this way. It was so still when I started, and now the wind's come up. Look at that fellow's vest. Yeah, there is, Annie, there's a cafe out on the front veranda. In fact, I'll go out that way before I sign off. Look at this lady's boots. Those boots are fabulous. All right, folks, we're going to go out this way.
This is good. This is good. Authentic now for me. This is
This is the cafe here. So we're sitting out on the front veranda, and you can order your tea and coffee. They've got kombucha.
Yeah, I take your cash, but don't stress yourself.
And it's all being made behind that window there. So you can
Pot of English breakfast, please.
scones. Hillbilly cider, yes, we have. That would be a local. I'm not sure if it comes from Bilpin or Blackheath. Where's Hillbilly from? It's from Bilpin, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely not plain. Somewhere.
And scones. Oh, yum. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off. I might even have a cup of tea myself. Let me turn the camera around over here. All right, well, we didn't really know what to expect from this morning. It hasn't been too bad. It's been really interesting. The academy building itself is gorgeous. I'm very glad I finally, after all these years, came along to take a look at it. It's one of those things you drive past it every day and never really stop and take a look. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I do appreciate that. Kate Bush should be wonderful. I do actually need to give the guy who's organising it a phone call and just make sure he's okay with me live streaming, but I don't see any reason why not. Everyone's going to have their cameras out that day. And otherwise, I really hope that you had fun with me this morning and enjoyed the steampunk and historical experience. Let's give one last look at the side of the academy before I sign off. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, everybody, thanks again, and bye for now.